Howdy, taxpayers. So are you bracing yourself for your winter heating bill that is going to be sky high because of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's carbon tax? Are you struggling to make ends meet because inflation is through the roof and everything is bloody well expensive? If you're here in Alberta, are you really worried about the fact that the Trudeau government continuously attacks your energy sector? Well, do not fear. Apparently, we're just in a vibe session. Yeah, that's what the Finance Minister of Canada calls the mess we're in. Listen to this.
Jean-Yves spoke about the disconnect between the positive news that the numbers are showing about the Canadian economy and what people are feeling. He talked about how Canadians are feeling. And that's a really important economic point. A lot of economists have been talking about the vibe-cession and the fact that Canadians just aren't feeling good and that is having real economic consequences. And the Canadian economists making that point are right, that there is a disconnect between the real the really positive economic news, the fact that the Canadian economy does appear set for a soft landing. That's good news. But Canadians aren't feeling it, and that is shaping their economic behavior in ways that are not great for the Canadian economy. People have been talking about a vibe session and how that is a challenge for the Canadian economy.
Did you hear that? Because I sure heard it. Yeah. So apparently we don't have anything to fear in Canada because we're just in a vibe session right now. We aren't struggling to make ends meet because they're jacking up the carbon tax. Things aren't ridiculously expensive due to inflation because this Trudeau government keeps on blowing its budget and printing money. No, we're just in a vibe session. So if we're in a vibe session now, does that mean that the chic-covery is complete after the budget has balanced itself because we all grew the economy from the heart outwards, according to this brilliant fiscal policy? You might as well laugh, folks, because otherwise you'll cry. Just a little note here. This is the finance minister of a G7 country who has never balanced a budget. Not one time. The deficit for this year is going to be more than $40 billion. The Trudeau government has doubled the national debt. Think about that. Think about all of the prime ministers through history, previous prime ministers. Harper, the first Trudeau, Diefenbaker, all the way down the railroad to Sir John A. Macdonald. Picture the world wars and the Great Depressions that they had to govern through. Picture their national debts. Double it. That's what this current Trudeau administration has done. And is it really any wonder when you have grown adults talking about vibe sessions? Folks, your life is not harder and less affordable because we're in a vibe session or because you, dear taxpayer, have a bad attitude. No, it's because the Trudeau government is punishing us with a carbon tax. It's because the Trudeau government can't balance its budgets. It's because the Trudeau government printed hundreds of billions of dollars out of thin air, causing inflation. It's because the Trudeau government continuously attacks our golden goose, our energy sector here in Canada. Do the right thing. Send an email to your member of parliament. Doesn't matter what jersey they're wearing. Could be orange, blue, or red. Tell them that you are not being fooled by this baffle-gab nonsense. Tell them to scrap the carbon tax and to balance the budget.